A lot of my chocolate memories from childhood involve cake. Anyone out there in the same boat? Well, I remember a chocolate cake with white, fluffy 7-minute frosting that made such a lifelong impression on me. It is delicious, it goes with every occasion, and I'm gonna show you how to make it now. I'm starting with the cake itself because I need to let it cool before I spread the frosting on. And the dry ingredients are just flour, sugar, and salt. This is just the chocolate cake that I use for every single thing. And I always say, if you can make a chocolate cake from scratch, you can do most anything in life. All right, the dry ingredients are mixed together. So I'm gonna make the chocolate mixture for the cake, and I have some butter melted in a saucepan. I'm gonna add some unsweetened cocoa powder, and I'll whisk this together, and it just makes this dark chocolate mixture that makes me excited that I'm making this cake. And I'll also add a cup of boiling water to this mixture, and then I'll crank up the heat, and it just takes a few seconds for it to start to come to a boil. My mother-in-law, Nan, handed me this chocolate cake recipe before I married Lad, and she basically handed me the recipe like, you're gonna need this. It wasn't advice, it wasn't dishes or a kitchen tool or a gardening tool, it was just a chocolate cake recipe. And she was so right, because I have needed it so many times through the years. All right, here goes the chocolate mixture coming to a boil. And just when the bubbles form all over the surface, I'll turn off the heat, so that's ready. And then I'll pour the chocolate into the dry ingredients, just pour it all around. And then what I do is give this a stir. You don't have to mix it totally together, but I want to cool down that chocolate mixture before I add the wet ingredients. So there are 3 components to this cake, but none of them are complicated. All right, so the wet ingredients are buttermilk and eggs, a teaspoon of baking soda, and same amount of vanilla. And then I'll whisk this together. So now I'm pouring the buttermilk mixture into the chocolate mixture. I could probably do this in my sleep. I didn't even realize I had added it. It just happens. It's like muscle memory at this point. All right, and stir this around. The great thing about this chocolate cake is you can use it to make sheet cake. You can put it in a 9 by 13 inch pan like I'm going to. You can make cupcakes. You could even make really fancy chocolate desserts, like little shot glass cake desserts. It just is so versatile. All righty, I think that is mixed together. You don't want to over mix this cake. It's really a great texture, and the buttermilk helps that along. Oh, and a tip is if you don't have buttermilk in your fridge, you can add just a little bit of distilled white vinegar to regular milk, and within a few minutes it turns into buttermilk. So here's the 9 by 13 inch pan, and I sprayed it with non-stick baking spray, and the batter goes in. All right, and then spread it into an even layer. Okay, now the cake goes into a 350-degree oven for 25 minutes, and then I'll take it out, let it cool, and frost it. The chocolate cake is baked and cooled, and now I am going to frost it. While it was cooling, I made this 7-minute frosting. I'll walk you through how I did it. It's a classic frosting. First, I added 1 1/4 cups of granulated sugar to a double boiler, along with 2 egg whites, half a teaspoon of cream of tartar, 3 tablespoons of water, and a pinch of salt, and whisked it until the sugar dissolved. Then I poured it into the bowl of a mixer with the whisk attachment, added a mounded tablespoon of vanilla bean paste, and whisked it until it was glossy and thick. This is such an old-fashioned frosting, and I can remember both of my grandmothers making this in the old days. It's a little bit more involved than just a regular buttercream frosting, but my oh my, it is so good. It's basically kind of like marshmallow cream. It essentially is that sort of vibe. But what is so great about it is just how white and billowy and beautiful it is. The thing about 7-minute frosting, it actually does take 7 minutes to whip. It takes a little longer to make because you have to cook the egg whites and do that mixture, but it really doesn't take all that long, and the signature quality of 7-minute frosting is just these really big swirls. So once you get it spread out to the corners of the cake, you just kind of use your spatula and just kind of do smears and swirls, and you want to be dramatic. This is a dramatic frosting. Whoop, whoop. You can have a lot of fun with this. Okay, now I have to show you what this looks like when you cut into it. Yes, I'm being generous. The cake itself is fantastic too, but once you get that frosting on, you're like, I could put this frosting on a pencil and it would taste delicious. Yum. It's so fluffy. This right here hurtles me back to my childhood. I was young and freckle-faced and didn't have any responsibilities, and all that was on my mind was this chocolate cake. In that sense, not much has changed through the years.